If the very young child version of you could see you now, what would they say to you? Welcome back to Sweet Infinity. My name is Kieran. Today I'll be reading from the Tarot of Mystical Moments deck. And today I'll be exploring the question of what is it that your inner child wants to say to you, a message that they have for you, and how they might want to communicate with you. So let's discuss that. If you are not already subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe. And I would love it if you would share this video with anyone who you think could use it. King of Pentacles and Eight of Wands has emerged as the first pair of cards that came out. Very interesting. So the question we have asked is, what does your inner child, your younger self, want to convey to you at this point in time? The King of Pentacles is very much the boss, in charge. And what I'm feeling is that you grew up with at least one or maybe both parents who were very, very domineering, very controlling, to the point where you felt stifled, to the point where you maybe rebelled and did some things that you might have later regretted. But this was a very domineering presence in your life. Could be a father or a father figure, or it could be a mother. And what I'm seeing here is that you wanted to get out as quickly as you could from under the influence of this person. Whether you did that by literally just running away, or in some fashion or another trying to break from this figure, this parental figure or parent, things happen very quickly for you, almost where you might now think of yourself as in a place where you don't even recognize how you got here, because you were running away from a very domineering parental figure or parent. That's what I'm seeing so far from these two, that this is somebody who is just very domineering, and then this is somebody who has been trying to run away from this, trying to fly away as quickly as possible, any means necessary, and possibly made some mistakes along the way as she or he tried to get away from this person. What else does the inner child want you to know? Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is a character who is passionate and who is pursuing her passion or his passion and is willing to just put it all on the line. So whether it was something that you did out of a need to create a career or a pathway as an artist or as some kind of creator of something, it could be family. Maybe you had kids very early in life, or it could be just something that you were driven by. And this is part of your journey here. You see, she's running away. She's flying away with these umbrellas. And she's also flying. So this journey is continuing, but she's the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords is, again, the one who runs away for her passion. If you see, she's holding a paintbrush here. Her skirt is full of text. So this could be a writer. This could be a painter. There's something very, very passionate about creation in this person. They're very passionate about creating something. It could be art, music, books, text, public speaking, or it could be a family, it could be children. But they're creating something, and that is what they got into as soon as this happened. So your inner child almost didn't have time to adjust to all these changes because everything happened very quickly. You grew up with a very domineering father or parental figure. You wanted to get away from there as soon as you could, and you pretty much got involved in a very passionate project and pursuit that led you far away from that domineering presence, or at least you tried to get away from there. Now, did you succeed? And what is the inner child giving you as a message in terms of what you need to know as the person that you are now? Ace of Cups. And I'm going to pick one more card that's next to it. Five of Pentacles. Ace of Cups is about starting a new love, a new relationship, or a new child in your life, or some kind of new emotional source, a source of emotional support. Could be a new friendship also. And then Five of Pentacles is about feeling left out in the cold. So what I'm seeing is that At this point in life, you might be starting something new, which you are hopeful about, but you're at the same time feeling isolated, and you're feeling that you've been left behind, or that you have been left alone to fend for yourself, even though you have something hopeful coming up in your life, or something that you're hoping. Maybe this is not quite a reality yet. It could be the desire to have a child, or the desire to have a new relationship or a new friendship, or something that's emotionally sustaining. And this is what you are aiming for. This is what you're dreaming of. And yet your fear, or your reality, or your day-to-day anxiety has to do with feeling left out, feeling deprived. And it's very sad. It's a very sad place you're in. And partly it's because you've been running for so long, you're not really even sure where you're running to anymore. So, what does the inner child want you to remember? The Sun and the Tower. Fascinating cards and fascinating pairing. I said, what does the inner child want you to remember? And these two cards came out. Notice that even though the tower is falling down, she's embracing the tower. And notice the sun is there in the sky where the tower used to be. The sun is the source of energy, the source of sustenance, the source of light and warmth. There would be no life on earth without the sun. The sun is the source of life. And the tower was in the way. You see, there's clouds and sky and possibly even the sun behind this tower. And she's clinging to it. And maybe there's a desire that the thing that ended, even though it was destructive, maybe you should have clung to it. I understand that desire is there. But you also have to remember the sun is behind the tower. It's hiding behind the tower. You won't see the sun, which is hope, life, warmth, sustenance, unless you're willing to let this go. The tower has to crumble. It's already crumbling. You can't even stop it from crumbling. You see, she's holding on to it, but it's crumbling. And yet you do have the option of getting to the sun. The sun is behind the tower. That's how these cards came up. What I'm getting from these cards is that there has been a lot of suffering and pain and trauma and disappointment. And you have been running for a long time to the point where you're not sure where you can run anymore. And so you're holding on to something that might have even been destructive for you, either a relationship or a career, a way to be, or a place that you're living in, or something like that, where maybe you're tired of running and you're just trying to hold on to whatever foundation you've built for yourself, even if it's hurting you at this point. But there is a sun that is waiting for you. And this tower is already crumbling, so are you going to keep yourself attached to something that's crumbling? Because it's not going to stop crumbling. You can't stop that destruction from happening. When it's time for something to end, it ends. And as much as we try to hold on to it, we're just avoiding the next thing that's coming up that might be even more full of hope, warmth, love, sustenance. Wheel of Fortune. This is a card about how everything changes. Just because you feel like something is bad right now doesn't mean it won't be good. And just because somebody is having a good time doesn't mean they're always going to be in that situation. Things are always changing. And a lot of times, good luck and bad luck can show up out of nowhere. We have to be prepared. So, final message from your inner child right now. Knight of Pentacles. Isn't this a beautiful card? Look, this is a horse made out of leaves. So the Knight of Pentacles, remember we had Knight of Swords over here, and now we have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is seeking comfort. This is somebody who likes beauty, style, stylishness, aesthetics, art, a decent, good, healthy living space. And this is somebody who's willing to pursue that. This is somebody who wants real things in life. So, for example, this knight is off pursuing her dreams, her passion. And that's okay too. But this knight wants something real, something steady, even if it's small, even if it's not very luxurious, but something that is hers, set up by her, styled by her, made in the image and the aesthetic that she wants it to be in. This is a very practical night. This is a very passionate night. So the final message from your inner child as we ask that question is this, that you are allowed to slow down, to take care of your health, take care of your environment, set up your space in a way that is customized for you, whatever space you have, because that's what this night needs. And that's what you need, because you've been running, you've been doing these things, you've been, you're trying to start a new relationship or something new. And okay, but what you haven't paid attention to is where you are in the space, in the body that you're in the house or apartment or room or whatever it is that you're in. Feel like that is not something you've paid as much attention to, because you're always looking for the next thing to do, the next place to run to, the next project to take on, the next person to save, the next thing to hold on to. But you're not actually paying attention to the body, your physical body, but also the residence and the place, the town, the city where you are. You're not rooted in it yet. And this is what your inner child wants for you. This is what your inner child needs. To slow down and really take in your environment and set it up in an aesthetic way, not just for utility, but also aesthetically, the way that you want, the style that you want, the colors that you want, the drapes that you want. Make it look nice. It's very important, because a lot of times we're running from place to place, we're moving, we're trying to do this and that, and we don't remember that beauty is also needed. It's a necessity of humanity. And even if you don't have a lot of money, there are still ways to make yourself healthier and your environment more beautiful. There's a lot of ways to upcycle things. As far as health, there's a lot of ways to get into eating healthier, eating at better timings, intermittent fasting, all kinds of things, drinking more water. And as far as your environment, there are ways to go to thrift stores and places where you can recycle things, get things and then make them into something else. There are ways. If you have a will, you have a way. So if you focus even on just small things, just make small changes towards building a life where you are grounded in your body and in your home, wherever you are. Even if you think this is not permanent, even if you are not sure that this is a space where you're going to be for a long time, even if you're in a hotel room, okay, make it yours. Really make it yours in some way. And yes, if it's not permanent, that's fine. You'll do it again somewhere else. But wherever you are, make it yours. That's what this night is saying. That after all you've been through, you are still at home, wherever you are. You are your home. You are the person you've been looking for. Wherever you are, wherever you go, you are home, and you have the right to feel like home, wherever you are. And I feel that your inner child is looking for you to discover that about yourself. I hope that this has been helpful. Thank you for listening. There are a lot of videos on this channel, different readings. I would love it if you would check them out too. And please subscribe if you haven't already. If you would like to purchase this deck, I have links for it in the description below, as well as links where you can support me if you'd like to support this work. I love to do these readings, and I'm also open to doing one-on-one readings. If you are interested, you can contact me. Information is in the description. And once again, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a sweet infinity.